Hello, I'm Dave with Phototropics, and I think this is the most common statement that's made to a photographer or a person says, "Hey, I'm getting into photography," and your friend, family member, whatever, will say, "Oh, are you going to do photography and video? Because that's a lot of money. All good photographers do wedding photography." And let me tell you, not all photographers do wedding photos. Let me tell you, those are a special breed of photographers because you're not just practicing your craft of using your camera, lighting, and things like that. You have another element in there, and that's people. And added to people is pressure and money. So there's a lot of things that go on whenever you say you're a wedding photographer. I tip my hat to you, and there are a lot of videos out there for people who are experienced wedding photographers. There is a lot of money to be made when you make a good name for yourself as a wedding photographer. Now, there's a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of things people try to get you to do to be their photographer. One thing to remember, it is hoped very much so that it is a one-off occasion. It's not like you're going to necessarily get repeat business from this person. Even if you say, well, I'm going to tell my bridesmaids, I'm going to tell my best men about you, that's fine. But when it comes down to it, they're not going to be thinking about that. They're going to be thinking about getting married. So it's not often one that gets repeated unless you're in a special circuit of people who use that kind of thing. I mean, they're very high-end clients, I would say, or people who have money anyway. And if you can get into that circle, go ahead. But it's not just taking pictures. So I would suggest this. There are Facebook groups, there's other groups that are in search of a second shooter. If you've never done a wedding, you might want to do that first. Don't say, well, please don't ever go and say, well, people will come up to you and say, well, you could do it for the experience of your portfolio. And if you want to, that's fine. But remember, even if it's for your portfolio, if you mess up that wedding, you're ruining that one-time event. And I'm not trying to scare you, because I've done wedding photography before, back in the film days when you didn't have the ability to really fix things like you do now. And I was pretty good at it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being a second shooter. And if I knew the people that I was going to be shooting for, as far as doing it directly for them, I was fine. But you have to be able to negotiate in-laws, brides, and all these people to provide the service that you can walk away proud of and that you should be charging the amount that you do. Now, there's other aspects to not just photography as well, and selling packages and how to bundle those photographs. That is a technique in itself. So yes, I would say wedding photography is one that would require a good bit of study and working along with somebody. Get a mentor, somebody that you can shoot with. Maybe even if you have a wedding, they can go with you and be your second shooter and provide some information on that. Again, it doesn't require a whole lot of equipment to be a good photographer for a wedding. There's a lot of little fancy things you can do, but have a good camera, a couple good lenses. You want to I've heard that a nifty 50 is always good to have, and some close-up lenses. Now again, you can discuss whether you want a zoom lens or a prime lens. It's just up to you and how close you feel like you can get to the action. Also, drone work is part of that as well, getting the whole thing covered. And again, you'll want to have to think about having a second shooter or possibly a third one in the form of a drone photographer. So I think it's very lucrative if you work it out and you know how to do your price structure and you worked out a way to negotiate the people more so than your photography. Because you could be great at that, but then have are lacking the people skills to be able to provide the overall product to your client. And again, don't accept the fact that they're doing you a favor by letting you practice on their wedding. You don't want to really practice. You want to be on your game whenever you're doing somebody's wedding. So it's okay to do free stuff. It's okay to do a wedding for a friend and say, hey, I'll do it for you. Maybe you pay for the printing or whatever of it, but that's fine. But don't think that you're going to make further bookings off of one wedding if you do it cheaper. Because remember, no matter what your price is, nobody's ever going to look back and say, oh, well, he did it for a cut rate. They're just going to say, these aren't good. They don't care what the price was. So you might as well charge what you should or what you're worth and then be happy when you're doing the job. Again, pricing is something we'll discuss later in another episode, but truly tell us what you think about wedding photography in the comments section down below. Let us know if you are an experienced wedding photographer, any suggestions you will have that you would provide for somebody who wants to be a second shooter or who wants to get into wedding photography business. So again, thank you for taking your time to watch our video, and we do hope that it's helpful for you in developing your own photography business and seeing which direction you want to put your energies and develop your business. Thank you again. Have a great day, and please share this with others if you found some benefit from this, and let us know if there's something else you'd like us to talk about.